Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 wrestlers who fought with terrible injuries. For this list, we'll be ranking the instances where professional wrestlers suffered real injuries but carried on the show. Can you think of any we missed? Let us know in those comments below. Number 10. The Undertaker, Elimination Chamber. The Undertaker's WWE entrance is the stuff of legend, ever evolving and always badass. What's even more badass is the hearty constitution of the dead man, since there was a very real accident that occurred during Taker's entrance back at WWE's Elimination Chamber 2010. It happened when the man-born Mark Calloway accidentally came into contact with his pyro. The complete footage has been scrubbed from the WWE network, but a quick search can show you exactly how bad Taker was burned here, and how he hauled ass into the chamber in order to assess the damage. He ended up suffering first and second-degree burns, and had to continually douse himself with water in order to continue the match. Number 9. John Cena, WWE Raw. Professional wrestling may be predetermined, but the physicality of the sport is very real, and some very real accidents can occur. An errant blow to the face during an otherwise innocuous July episode of WWE Raw turned into one memorable broken nose for none other than the living legend John Cena. Cena was battling the then world champion Seth Rollins during a non-title bout when Rollins went for a knee and hit it square on the button. Cena's face, well, it basically exploded, although the splattered schnoz didn't stop the match from continuing, with Big Match John eventually coming up the victor. Number 8. Bret Hart, Starrcade. John Cena may have walked away from his facial injury intact, but the next incident on our list had lasting repercussions for the career of wrestling legend Bret Hart. Hart was battling the beast known as Goldberg at the company's most prestigious pay-per-view event of the year, Starrcade. The latter wasn't exactly known for his ability to go the distance in longer matches, but with Hart leading the way, it seemed a given that the pair should have had a good match. It all went pear-shaped after a kick from Goldberg knocked Hart for an absolute loop. The impact was so intense, it led to Hart being concussed, complications from which would eventually contribute to his in-ring retirement only a year later. Number 7. Sabu, Born to be Wired. Homicidal, suicidal, genocidal. These were the words used to describe the great Sabu during his run as one of the hardcore wrestling community's most fearless performers. Sabu put his body on the line every night and paid a physical price multiple times for the incredible matches he put on for companies such as ECW. One particularly memorable moment occurred when Sabu suffered a horrific injury while working a match with another hardcore legend, Terry Funk. Problem number 1, it was a barbed wire match, with ungimmicked, that is to say, very real barbed wire. Problem 2 occurred when Sabu lacerated his bicep so badly on the wire that it required the man to tape it up mid-match in order to continue. It's horrible to watch. Number 6. Big Van Vader, New Japan Pro Wrestling Super Fight in Tokyo Dome. Oh, you thought Sabu's injury was bad? Well, buckle up, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Your driver this evening is Big Van Vader, and he's gonna show you how to continue a match after losing your eyeball. Yep, not only did this bout between Vader and Stan Hansen start out with an accidental blow to Vader from Hansen's bull rope during the latter's ring entrance, but from there it would only get worse. It occurs almost immediately when Hansen, known for his poor vision, almost ruins Vader's vision permanently thanks to an accidental poke to the eye. Vader's eye was momentarily popped out of the socket, and the big man actually popped it back in before continuing on with the match. Number 5. Cody Rhodes, Hell in a Cell. Cody Rhodes' performance at the 2022 Hell in a Cell may be the most recent injury here, but it easily stands out as one of the gutsiest moments in wrestling history. Cody comes from a southern wrestling tradition, an era of legit tough guys, and an attitude where, for better or worse, wrestlers had to go on with the show. Maybe this is why Rhodes decided to enter his match with Seth Rollins with a pectoral muscle that was torn clear off the bone. The audience in attendance can be heard audibly gasping at the sight of Rhodes' injury, and the fact that this grandson of a plumber put in the work for a full main event contest is beyond our comprehension of badassery. Number 4. Bob Holly, WWE SmackDown. Hardcore Bob Holly's reputation as one of pro wrestling's old-school tough guys was secure prior to his match with Brock Lesnar during an episode of WWE SmackDown, but if there were any doubters, they were effectively silenced on this night. That's because the former Sparky Plug actually suffered a broken freaking neck during a botched powerbomb attempt by Lesnar. Holly himself has commented about how he couldn't quite reach the neck of Lesnar while the latter was executing the move, with the resulting impact hitting Holly straight on the neck and shoulders. Bob finished the match, but yikes, this could have been even worse. Number 3, Mick Foley, Hell in a Cell. They were the falls heard around the world, epic tumbles that certified Mick Foley as a living legend, while also bringing the world of pro wrestling further into the mainstream public eye. This is because everyone was talking about Hell in a Cell 98 and the match between Foley and The Undertaker. It's bad enough that Foley is tossed off the cage and onto the announcer table below, but according to Mick himself, the second fall through the top of the cage into the ring below was even worse. We believe it too, since a now infamous camera angle captures a perversely grinning Foley with a tooth lodged firmly in his nose. Number 2, Stone Cold Steve Austin, SummerSlam. Does a barely there attempt at a roll-up count as fighting? We're gonna allow it because it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the fact that he managed to move at all after his injury is just incredible. Austin was battling Owen Hart over the Intercontinental Championship when a planned piledriver near the end of the match went horribly wrong. Austin's neck was unprotected between Hart's legs, and the impact broke Steve's neck immediately. Austin, Hart, and referee Earl Hebner stalled for time, allowing Steve to muster up enough strength to roll Owen up to bring this tragic match to a close. Before we name our number 1 pick, here's a few honorable mentions. Sami Zayn, a popped shoulder during an entrance. Katsuyori Shibata, one headbutt too many. Finn Balor, buckle bomb to shoulder injury. Kurt Angle, concussed by the pedigree. Riho, broken collarbone. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Triple H, WWE Raw. Hunter Hearst Helmsley absolutely proved that he was, indeed, the game on this episode of WWE Raw. Triple H was working a tag match with then-partner Steve Austin against Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho when something went wrong, and one quick misstep led to a horrific quadricep injury. From there, however, Hunter put on a clinic, not only continuing with the match, but trying to set up a pedigree on the announce desk outside the ring. Triple H was even put into the Walls of Jericho finisher while out there, a move that directly targets the quads. It's an astonishing performance put on by one of the best to ever lace up a pair of boots. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.